Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I do like what the Browns did in the preseason this year and in off season. They really did get some good players for, not having the first pick. But then I was looking at, because I always look at highlights of the players. They just showed a highlight of Nick Chubb. And so I started watching it. And I got to tell you, the most important player, in my opinion, for the last 5 years for the Browns, and I love Myles Garrett, don't get me wrong, he's number 2. But nobody has done more for the Browns and been a better player for the Browns than Nick Chubb. Just go back and look at all his highlights. It's ridiculous how good this guy was. And I hope he, heals up well and come back. But I'm putting Nick Chubb right in there with Jim Brown as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to know what you guys think. All right, bye.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Tim, Nick Chubb, when he's healthy, is the best running back in the NFL. Jim Brown, he's getting in that conversation. Durability, part of the thing with a running back, you got to be durable. It's not his fault that he got his knee injured, but got his knee injured.
Yeah, and I think that the big question with the Browns is, what kind of Nick Chubb are the Browns going to get in 2024? Is he going to be, is he going to somehow be 100% Nick Chubb? Because I don't know how likely that is, but as unlikely as it is, that'd be an incredible scenario for the Browns where all of a sudden in the middle of the season, you get Nick Chubb who's fresh and he looks like himself again. I've said before, even if you get about 80% of Nick Chubb at his peak, I think that's still a very good running back and a guy you could really use and have success with. I mean, I don't know if I would say he's the most important Brown, but I would say he's the heart and soul of the team. You could just see that just from the Thursday night game against the Jets when they brought him out. He came in with the Batman mask and smashed the guitar, and that certainly got the team and the crowd fired up. You could tell they were saving that for such an important game and such an important moment. And obviously, we saw what the Browns did in that game. They blew out the Jets and secured that playoff spot. So I think when you talk about just maybe more so as far as the intangibles and just what a guy means to an entire group, not just on the field but off the field. Nick Chubb, even though he doesn't play one of the most important positions in football, one of the most premium positions of football, his individual value to this team is just so high.
So this is kind of interesting. So after suffering a torn ACL and MCL, like Nick Chubb did in 2011, Adrian Peterson came back and ran for a league-high 2,097 yards to capture the MVP in 2012. Peterson's injury occurred in Week 16 of 2011. Nick Chubb, similar injury last year in Week 2. Nick Chubb is 28 years old now. Adrian Peterson was 27 the year he came back and was the MVP. Not saying that Nick Chubb's going to come back and do it, but there is a guy that has done a similar thing and has a similar skills. It's not a stretch to compare Adrian Peterson and Nick Chubb, I don't think. Peterson did it for a little longer. Let's see if Chubb can come back and continue along that path.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, I don't know in this era if anybody's running for 2,100 yards again. Just
Absolutely.
The way football is.
Yep.
Just the way football is these days. I mean, it's so pass heavy, so leaning towards the passing game and the quarterbacks. I don't know if we'll ever get a guy who runs close to that. I mean, that's otherworldly stuff Adrian Peterson did. I mean, there's a reason he's arguably the best back of our generation, and Nick Chubb certainly, like you said, when healthy, he's the best running back in football, and he's kind of working his way into Adrian Peterson's tier. If he comes back and has another great season, maybe he is the key of the Browns making a deep playoff run, then all of a sudden you can really start to have that conversation of, is he the number 2 behind Adrian Peterson? So it'll be interesting kind of where that all plays out. But I mean, it's hard to discount where Nick Chubb is because of his work ethic and because of just his drive and just how good he is when he's on the field. He's truly definitely one of the best running backs we've seen, in quite a while, and maybe the second best back in Browns history behind Jim Brown easily.
Yeah, and I can see it now. People are, watching going, Dave says Nick Chubb 2,000 yards. That's not what I said. I said it has been done before, that somebody has come back well from that.
As long as nobody puts a bet on it in Vegas saying Dave Bacon told me to do it.
There you go.